Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wyoming Knits YouTube channel. My name is Jenny Lee, and this is my channel where I like to talk about all the things that I've been knitting on over the past week. Today is Sunday, December 1st, 2024. It is the first day of Advent season, and we have a lot to talk about today. This is episode 67. And I'm coming to you from Southwest Wyoming, where I live with my husband, our daughter, and our little Yorkie, Dax. You can find me on Instagram as Jenny Lee Knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenny Lee S Knits. So, because there's so much to talk about, let's just get right into it. I finished my California sweater, so this is my first finished object for today. I absolutely love it. I used a Blackbird Sycamore yarn. I ordered 3 skeins and I ended up only using 1 and about 3/4. So I did the fingering weight and the mohair together. I am not exactly sure how to pronounce so I have an extra skein and about 1/4 left. So I did the second size. I didn't do the extra small. I think I did the small. I have a 34-inch chest circumference with a small bust. So I did the small size, the second size, and I cast this on September 15th. Didn't work on it for a while, and then cast it off. I picked it back up last week, and I had connected the front and the back and was in the round last time, and I finished this on November 29th, so the day after Thanksgiving, right? Yes. Yeah, the day after Thanksgiving. I worked on this Thanksgiving Day. It is so nice and soft. I was almost completely done, but I picked up the neckline. I did a little more than the recommended length, and then folded it, bound off, folded it over, stitched it down, and I couldn't get it over my head. So I had to I had woven in all my ends. I had to unpick the slip stitch, or the whip stitch that I did all the way around the inside of the collar, take out the bind off and re-bind off a lot looser, and then fold it back over and tack it back down again with like a whip stitch, and it fits so much better. When I finished the sleeves, they came to about right here, and then when I blocked it, I pulled them, so now they cover my arms. Perfect length. I love it. I want to make another one. I already asked my daughter if she wanted one, so I might be making one for her in the next couple of months. I gotta order yarn for that. And then the next thing I finished were my November Felici socks. I did the Stack of Books pattern by Lindsay of Sock Witchery. I did a contrast color for the cuff, the heel, and the toe on both of these. November is my birthday month. I just turned 43 yesterday, so the last day of November is my birthday. So I finished these on, I cast them on November 9th and finished them on the 27th. So I got these ones finished, and that was the only thing I finished this week, my sweater and my socks. And so let's talk about all the things that I've been working on over the past week. So I worked on this sweater a lot, and then I worked on my tan line joggers, and I did put a little more progress on them. So I'm going to move this just to make sure it gets moved. Sometimes I forget to move it. So I'm going to move that, and I'm just working away on these. This is a Sinful yarn, Can't Adult Today, and the pattern for the joggers is written by the Little Wolf Knits, who is Brianna Lupino, and it's in my Red's Lady Creates bag. So I worked on this just a little bit, just enough to do a couple of rounds. And then, what else did I work on? I think I worked on this one. So this is a Lila Styles bag. And this is my Ripple Crop by Jessie May. And I have got the front, I did the first side and I'm working on the second side. The back is on hold. So I was right here last time, and so I did this much more. I put the left sleeve on hold, the left front, and I'm doing the right front. I'm using a Hobby Lobby yarn. It's the Yarn Bee, and this is the Flamenco color. And I've started on my second ball. So I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have enough to do the other side, the back, and some short sleeves. I did do, it says 8 inches of 3x3 rib. I keep saying 3x1, it's 3x3. So 3 knits, 3 purls, 3 knits, 3 purls. And it says to do 8 inches, but I think I did 12. Either 12 or 12 and a half. Because I do not want a cropped t-shirt. I like my sweaters or my t-shirts to at least cover the hem on my pants, and I don't wear super high-waisted jeans. I think most of my jeans are below my belly button, and so I like it to at least cover the top. Is that called the hem? The belt part of my jeans. And so I wanted my t-shirt a little bit longer than that. I thought I could get more work on it done this week, but I didn't. I thought maybe I could finish the front and the back and get the sleeves, but that didn't work out because I cast on lots more things. At the very end of last week's video, I was showing you my box of Advent yarn from last year, and then my battery died, and that was the last thing I was going to show you, and so I decided just to leave it there. And this week I got back into that box of yarn. I had picked 2 patterns that I wanted to do with that yarn. I knew I wanted to make a blanket with my Pretty Twisted yarn Advent from last year, but I kept going back and forth between the habitation throw and like a Lily's scrap blanket with the chevrons, and then I was gonna do like a row of like color 1 and then like 2 or 3 rows of the main color or the day 25 color, and then another like day 2, and then the main skein, the 100-gram skein that came with it. And I was like, I don't really want to think that hard about how many rows I would need for the 100-gram skein to go in between each one. Let's do the habitation throw. And so I started on that. I caked up all of the yarn from the Pretty Twisted Yarn Advent last year. Let me see. I have, where did it go? Oh, right here. So this was her label on the main skein from last year. It was a one of a kind, and it was this color. I got it on her shimmer base, I think, Stardust base, with all the extra sparkle. So I cast on the habitation throw with this, and then I did, once I got to the eyelet round, I'm going to do all of the eyelets in this yarn and then all of the other colors. So here's the beginning and the first eyelet round, and then day 1, day 2, day 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got an I-cord edge on the side. I modified the I-cord edge. In the pattern, it's a knit, slip, knit on one side and a slip, knit, slip on the other side. And I'm just doing slip the last 3 with yarn in front, and then when you turn, you're going to knit those 3, just like most of the Stephen West patterns and most of the other I-cord edges that I have done. So I'm going to do this color and then 1 stripe of each day with the 100-gram skein in the middle, and then when I get through all 24 days, then I will start back over with the day 1 as I'm decreasing. So I'll increase all 24 days and then I'll decrease all 24 days and hopefully end up with the main color as the other corner on the top. So I started working on this one. It does not take very long to do each color stripe now, but as I get going, it'll take a lot longer. So I just have my box of yarn. I caked everything up. It's ready to go. I can take this downstairs and sit on my chair and just work on it. I don't have to measure anything. I don't have to weigh anything. I just have to remember to put in the main color when I do the eyelet rounds. And I think that's going to be easy to sit after school and work on this in December. I knew as I was opening Advents this year that I probably was not going to start a project with them until I saw all of them. And so I thought last year's yarn would be a good project to work on during December this year. And then I also had the Teal Torch Knits. I think it was like a My Little Pony advent last year. I think there was ponies on there. And I wanted to do a cardigan with that one. I am doing, let me see, what is it called? The Countdown Cardi by Skeinanigans. Oh, the Habitation Throw is, I want to say by Helen Stewart. It would have been on the screen already. So I'm doing the Countdown Cardi, and you wind your mini and you hold it double, and you start with the cuff. So you have a main skein that I'm using for the cuff, and then you do half your yarn for this sleeve and half your yarn for this sleeve, and you work up the sleeve, and then you cast on stitches. After you've finished with the sleeve, you cast on your stitches here and start working across and across the back at the same time, and then you bind off this side and you keep going on the back a little ways, and then there's, I think, a 3 needle bind off after you get this one. I think in the pattern it has you do one sleeve, do all of that, and then the other sleeve all of the body, and then you 3 needle bind off in the back, and then you come back and add a shawl collar or ribbing around the collar. I think maybe I'll pop up a picture, but I worked on it Friday for a really long time. I am on color 8 of 21, and you knit the sleeve inside out to begin with because it's garter stitch. And you can see I haven't woven in any of my ends, and so this is where my color changes are. And instead of starting at day 1, I started at day 21 because I liked the purple for the sleeves, the purpley pink. And then this is where I stopped for the sleeve, and you do a purl round so it looks like a seam. And so I have started on the body. So this is what I've got so far. And there's a faux ribbing on the bottom. So I've worked on this, and then there's a slip stitch detail along the top. This was really, really easy to follow. She gives you a check mark box that you can follow along on the pattern. I do all mine digitally on GoodNotes, so I can highlight and erase and go back and make notes and jot down things for myself, and then I can just erase and use the pattern again. So I'm using for the main, the gray, I'm using a Yarn Cafe Creations, and this is the color Gloss. So I'm using this, and it's all held double. So everything is fingering weight held double to get your DK weight gauge. I haven't checked gauge on this. I'm just knitting. I don't really think I checked gauge on this one. I just knit it. So I'm doing the second or third the third size on this one because I want the cardigan to be a little bit oversized to fit on my my upper arm, my bicep. I have found that a lot of patterns for a 34-inch bust assume I have a lot smaller arms than I do. And so I either have to go up a needle size or go up a pattern size to fit around my biceps. Let me grab the rest of my yarn. So here's the rest of what it's going to look like. This one will be in the very back. And so this one will go like this. And this one, not sure if this will go in just the back. If we'll stop, I'm not sure. So I'm going to do these ones for the countdown Cardi. It was actually designed using the 21-day countdown from Teal Torch Knits a couple years ago. So I have this right here. I have my, I got this on Amazon, just my little scale so I can weigh the yarn, knit, get about halfway, a little less than halfway, and then change my color. So I cast that on and I've been working on that. And I've put all the yarn that I've worked already. So I'm ready for the second sleeve, the second side in my Awesome Bags by Granny. And I think that was everything I worked on this week. I really want to cast on another blanket. I know I just cast on the habitation throw, but I kind of want to cast on another blanket for me, maybe. I don't know. Two of my cousins are having babies, and I think next month during their doctor's appointment they get to find out if it's going to be a boy or a girl, and so I have 2 more baby blankets to make. I want to start on those. I want to get those cast on, but I gotta wait and see if what they're having. If one's having a boy and one's having a girl, or if they're both having boys, they're both having girls. And so I have to wait. So I think that's why I want to cast on another blanket. I want to make some Christmas socks. I gotta start my December Felici socks. I want to cast on all the sweaters, all the hats, all the mittens. So let's talk about all the yarn I do have. Let's do Advents first, because today is the first day of Advent. I got the Hue Loco So let's do this one first. This one is Safflower, is the name of, I think this is all flowers, botanical fade. So let's start with day 1. Kind of blowing out just a little bit. Let's see if I can shadow it just a little bit. So it's got these beautiful, beautiful speckles. It wants to focus on my face. maybe I'll do the My Favorite Adventure sweater by Tristan of Dragon Hoard Yarn for this one this year. So we'll put that back in there. Day 1. Let's do my Teal Torch knits next. Let me grab that. Okay. So we've got day 1 and then the little goodies. Let's see. There's some Try It On tubing. So I'll put this with the rest of my Try It On stuff. A little some cute little stitch stoppers. I don't have any needles handy. They probably won't fit on my sock ones. Ooh, this one is glow in the dark. I wonder if this other one is also. Yes, they are both glow in the dark. Her theme this year is Teal Torch Knits After Dark. There's one last thing in here. It's a little keychain. And it's got a light on it. That's cool. And then day 1. I love that color. I'm going to stick that back in here. I don't know what I'm doing with this one yet. I'll save that. And then let's do the Twice Share Cheap. So I got my box right here. And I pulled the box out just a little bit so it would be easier to grab out of here. And, no, this way. Sloth mode activated. That is so cute. So it's a little insulated mug with a cute little sloth. Love it. Okay, let's put this box back in here so nothing falls. And we will be ready for day 2 tomorrow. So that was Advent. Let's talk about all the yarn that I have that I want to use. I purchased some yarn from Yarnaceous. She had a mystery pack, and I ordered the Surrey pack. So I got 3 skeins of Surrey alpaca. This was a mystery. I knew there was 3 colors coming, or 3 skeins. I didn't know which colors they were going to be. This one is Bowser's Castle. This one is Peaches. And this one is Too Cute. And that was what I purchased this week. I do have Christmas yarn. Let's talk about my December Felici socks. I'm going to do the olive juice color. For December. I might find a leftover green for Hills, Toes, and Cuffs. So I'll do that for my December Felici socks. This is my Fancy Boys Designs bag. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeins of sock yarn for Christmas socks. I bought this about 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago. It's the unique sock set. And I keep thinking I'm gonna make a pair of socks for me for Christmas with this. And I have never opened it. Then I bought some Cozy Cauldron fibers 3 Christmases ago, if you're counting this Christmas as one. This is the gingerbread house color. And then I bought, I want to say I got this one last year. I got 3 of these. And this is the last one. The Hobie sock yarn, it's a really good quality yarn. It's very rustic. It feels almost like a Yorkshire Spinners, or I haven't tried Opal or anything like that, but I do have a couple Yorkshire Spinners. I bought this one this year, West Yorkshire Spinners signature. This is the holly berry color. I thought this would be fun to do Christmas socks. And then last year I got the Christmas morning box from Happy Mermaid Yarn Co. And did not cast on these socks. So I have 4, 5, 6 pairs of socks that I could make this year. And then I have this bag. This is a Fates thread bag. Their shop is no longer open. It's got the cute Rugrats and a little Reptar zipper pull. And I picked out and caked this up over the summer for socks for my mom for Christmas this year. I have not started on them. And then I need to do a pair of socks for my mother-in-law. I have not decided on the color yet. Not sure. So I have all of that I want to finish. I have 3 weeks left of school. We have a 5-day week, a 4-day week, and a 5-day week. Then we're off for Christmas and New Year's. And then we go back right after New Year's. We get 2 weeks off for Christmas, so however that works out. I think we go Friday's the last day, and then we come back on a Monday. And we get those 2 weeks off. Maybe I can finish Christmas socks for me in that time. Even if I cast these ones on, it says gingerbread house. It's not too Christmassy that I'm gonna knit them in January if I don't get them finished by Christmas. I think there was a pair of socks I cast on last year in December that I didn't get finished in December, and I finished them in January, and that was fine. I want to do, I just got on Knit Picks today and ordered more yarn. They have a Black Friday sale where everything is 30% off. I have this bin of, I've just put everything that I think is a green tone in here. I've tried to separate them out because I want to do the Stephen West, is it the Marl something blanket? Marl Mania blanket? Something. There's a scarf or wrap and a blanket, and I was like, ooh, I could do that if I get enough scraps. Well, I think this is probably enough scraps to do at least half a blanket, and you're supposed to hold 2 fingering weights, like 2 different colors in the same color family. So you'd start with like 2 light colors, like maybe start with a white or cream and move into pinks and reds and yellows and pinks, reds, orange, yellows, greens, kind of like a rainbow fade. So I've been putting all of my yarn into bins based on color. I don't have very many yellows. I don't have very many reds, but yellow, red, and orange are not my favorite colors, so maybe just the bottom edge of that blanket could be those colors, and then, or I could just do greens, teals, blues, purples. That would be really pretty too, because I have lots of those colors. But I also want to take this bin and make a sea glass cardigan. I wanted to do the sea glass sweater a couple years ago, and I did where you change your yarn. You do a magic knot. 3 out of 5 of my magic knots came undone. So then my sweater started falling apart, and I didn't have enough yarn end to fix it. So I decided, oh, we're ripping that out. We're doing the Sweet Shop blanket with that yarn. I still have that in the corner over there with all the yarn ready to go. I just need to sit down and work on it. So I want to do the sea glass sweater in green. I ordered some green Knit Picks Swish, I want to say moss, that I want to do as the collar, the cuffs, and then hold it throughout, and then just alternate with these. I'm sure there's enough green in here. If not, I have some more greens over here that I could put in. I just put this, my leftover of that, in there. So I have enough, but I also want to make that marl blanket. I have all of my row 1 minis in here that I need to do something with. I want to do a scrap blanket with that, but I could pull out like the purples and the teals. Ooh, here's some oranges I could add to my orange. Maybe I'll do that and start that blanket and hold some of the greens out. Maybe. I don't know. I want to cast on all the things, but I don't have all the needles. I don't have all the time, but I want to cast them all on. So let me know what you think in the comments section. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. Next week I will have a little video insert of my Advent stuff after I talk about my finished objects, if I have any. We'll talk about that, then we'll do Advents, and then we'll do works in progress, just in case there's something from the Twice Shared Sheep Advent that is like a progress keeper or something that I've decided to use on my project. You can see it before. I think that was the feedback I got, to see it sometime in there. Yeah. I have lots of ideas. I come in here and I stare at my yarn and I'm like, ooh, let's start this. And I do. And I shouldn't. But it's so pretty and I want to. So we'll see what I get up to next week. Until then, happy knitting.